Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and I want to continue our discussion on autophagy. I know a lot of you had comments on the video I did on the 4 different ways that you can stimulate autophagy, ways that are even greater than just fasting. And I know a lot of you have asked questions about fasting and what time period you need to fast, how long do you need to fast in order to get into autophagy. So I've already done 2 videos on that. You can go and watch those 2 videos and understand autophagy hopefully at a deeper level. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk about autophagy and traveling, because what a lot of you guys are discovering is you get to this point where you're like, okay, autophagy is really cool. My body detoxifies itself. I feel great when I'm applying the principles of autophagy. And then you go on vacation and all of a sudden you go completely into this toxic world. You don't feel as well. You come back and you're feeling a bit broken. So I want to show you, I'm actually about to go on a trip, and I'm going to show you what I personally do to try to stay in autophagy, to try to minimize the toxic load that you get when you travel, and still at the same time have an incredible experience on your vacation. So there are 4 different tools that you can apply to keep yourself in autophagy. And we talk a lot about this on this channel and in my Resetter group. The first one you obviously know is fasting. So when I travel, fasting is incredible. It is convenient. Many times I'll just go and have a coffee in the morning and then go sightseeing throughout the day, and then have 1 to 2 meals when I'm eating. Now, what's interesting is once I eat. So we actually, on the Women and Wellness podcast, we interviewed Megan Ramos, who is Dr. Jason Fung's right-hand gal. And she was telling us, because we did this a couple weeks ago and it was right before summer, and she was telling us, oh yeah, when I go on vacation, I eat. But it doesn't mean that you have to stop fasting. So for autophagy, we're looking for something greater than 17 hours. So you could have your coffee in the morning and you could start to do more of a fasting lifestyle, compress that eating, and at 17 hours, eat, enjoy where you're at, enjoy the foods that are unique to the area that you're at. Okay, so you don't need to skimp on food. You can lean on the benefits of fasting to get autophagy when you travel. So that's like my number 1 tip. Okay, number 2 tip is sleep. Now, this can either work in your favor or it can work against your favor. So you need to be getting into a deep sleep every night in order to help your body maximize autophagy during the day when you're fasting. Most people don't realize that sleep, actually, when we go to bed, the ventricles of our brain actually shrink, and cerebral spinal fluid goes up and can rinse out the brain and detoxify the brain. So if you're in a position where you can sleep a little longer than you normally sleep at home, fabulous. If you're like me and going to a whole nother time change and are a little worried about jet lag, there's some tools you can use. First, best supplement out there on the market for as far as a melatonin supplement is Dream or Drem. I always wonder how you pronounce it. They left the A out. But this works incredible for long flights. When you get to your new time change, I usually take 2 Drem when it's bedtime, and to get my body, get that melatonin upregulated, because remember, when melatonin gets upregulated, it tells the brain it's time to go to sleep. So when you take melatonin, the brain goes, oh, it's time to go to sleep, and you're more likely to have a deep sleep, even if it's not your time zone. The other tool that we know will help with not only mitochondrial repair, get more autophagy, but also stimulate melatonin is the Juve light. So you can follow me on Instagram as I go through a whole trip that I'm embarking upon, and I'll show you how I use the Juve light. I'm going to use it to start to get my body naturally producing melatonin, even when my body thinks that it's on a whole nother time change. So this one's the Juve Go. Super cool red light therapy. You basically will put it on your face, and it starts to signal to the pineal gland. It tells the pineal gland to secrete more melatonin so that you go to sleep. So Juve Go is an awesome technique for sleep as well. Okay, third way you can still get some effects of autophagy when you're traveling is HIIT training. So you can do HIIT training anytime. I mean, HIIT training is basically like jumping jacks, where you're doing jumping jacks real quickly. It's 30 seconds on of an activity and 30 seconds off. So I can't tell you how many hotel rooms I've been in, how many gyms I've been in hotels where I'll just grab 5 exercises. It could be as simple as jumping jacks, push-ups, tricep dips, running in place, those kind of activities. I'll go all out for 30 seconds and then I'll relax for 30 seconds. And then I go all out for 30 and then I'll relax. There's a lot of good timers you can get on your phone that will help you with that process. But that stimulates autophagy as well. Okay, fourth, there are certain foods that you can use to accelerate your autophagy. I don't have it here, but I love Naomi Whittle's Autophagy tea. I think it's pretty cool. It's like an Earl Grey tea with some cinnamon and a green tea. You could make that on your own as well. If you were out, you could order green tea with some Earl Grey and then just a shake of cinnamon. That would be fine. I know Peak Tea. One of the things I love about Peak Tea is that they actually come in these little convenient to-go containers. So when I go to seminars, I'm traveling to conferences, I often will take some Peak Tea because it's easier to fit into my bag. I can put it in a cup with hot water and I have instant good organic tea. So foods that will help you get into autophagy or keep you in autophagy: Earl Grey tea, green tea, cinnamon. So if you go and get a latte in the morning or you go and get a coffee in the morning, shake a little cinnamon on it. Those will accelerate the process of autophagy. Other tricks that I use when I travel, and I really want to leave this here for you guys because there's some really cool things that I've done to make sure that when I re-enter back into my normal world, that I'm as healthy as possible. So I absolutely love Restore. So if you don't know what Restore is, take the time, give yourself a gift to go watch my Resetter TV that I did with Dr. Zach Bush. So he's created this Restore. I will literally take the travel Restore and I'll just open it. It just opens up like that. Put it in my mouth before I go out to a restaurant, carry it in my backpack, my purse, easy to get to travel with as opposed to the big Restore container. I also will do the Restore nasal spray. When I get on a plane, I'll do a couple squirts in either nostril. If I get into a hotel room that maybe, like we had this weekend, we were at a conference and the hotel room we were in had varnish in it and they had just shellacked it. I was putting, I don't know what chemicals are in there, so I was putting Restore in my nose. If you get on an airplane and everybody's sneezing around you, Restore is great for creating a good barrier in the nose so that you don't, the flu viruses and bacteria don't stick in there as much. So this is an absolute must. On the lines of infections and catching a cold, how many of you have gone and traveled and you come back and you're sick? Well, if you are low in vitamin D, which is a lot of people, what happens is you're more susceptible to colds. When you go and travel, you're in planes, trains, automobiles, and you're in these closed environments with a lot of viruses. So taking DV3 before, this is my favorite vitamin D, taking it before you go, while you go, can also help prevent that re-entry of where you're feeling sick. Or, I deal with a lot of people in my clinic that are overscheduled, stressed out, and they go on vacation and all of a sudden now their whole immune system conks. And they get sick and then they don't get to enjoy their vacation. So DV3 is a really good one for that. Okay, what about those meals that you eat where you just don't feel so good? I always take Z-gluten with me, which helps break down any gluten. I stay away. I'm not gluten intolerant, but I stay away from gluten as much as possible because of Bt toxin and glyphosate that's in there. So making sure you have a good enzyme can help as well. And you just I carry it in my backpack or my purse, and I'll just take a couple, like after a meal, a big meal that I don't know anything about. And it'll help break down that food. Okay, other really cool things in my last absolute must when you travel is bind. So I talk a lot about this on this channel. I am such a fan of bind. I encourage you to do bind when you're fasting. I also, and those of you in our heavy metal detox, group detox, we talked so much about bind. But before I go to bed every night when I'm traveling, I take 2 bind. If you drink too much, take 2 bind. It will bind to toxins and get it out through your stools. So it's not getting absorbed into your bloodstream. The other thing that I have done a lot, if I'm eating something or drinking something that may be full of chemicals or in a plastic cup, is I'll just take my Cyto Detox with me, and I'll just put a couple of drops after I drink something that may be toxic or after I've been exposed to something that's toxic. I had this happen to me once where I ended up in a room where there was some mold in a hotel room. I put a couple drops of Cyto Detox in some Restore, and I just did a couple drops in my nose. So, a lot of cool options. You don't have to go on vacation and miss out on the fun because you're trying to maximize autophagy or stay in ketosis, or because you've done so much work and you're nervous about all of a sudden reverting back. You can use the principles I just taught you and keep your health plan moving in a really positive direction. Now, as many of you know, I love the word reset because when you come home, you also can move into one of my resets. So I don't know when you're watching this video, but this video is being launched in June. We are doing a reset in July for those of you who want to come back from a vacation and reset. It's the women's reset. We'll put a link in here. I do keep it to 50 women so that I can guide you guys through it, get to know you. There is a cost for it, but we'll put that in, put the link in there, and you can go check that out. So know that you can go into a reset at any single time once you come back. Fasting is the ultimate reset. Just all the habits you have right now, go use this on your travels, on your trip. Go enjoy it. Enjoy the food. Get immersed in the culture. And then when you come back, reset your health with one of those resets. So we'll put everything that I put here, I'll put in the links. Experiment with them, try them, let me know what you like. Those of you that are going on vacation this summer, give me feedback. If you're trying some of this stuff, I want to know how it goes for you. And if you want to join me in the Women's Reset, we'd love to have you be a part of that experience. So go check out the link that we put in the notes here. But stay healthy, enjoy your vacation. And as always, I hope that helps. If it does, let me know. I'm trying to give you guys really useful information that is pertinent to so much great research that's coming out right now about how we can detoxify ourselves. So as always, I hope that helps. Hey, Dr. Mindy here, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it out to the world. I'm trying to get really cutting-edge health information into people's hands. And if you want to see more videos like this, just subscribe to my channel and you'll get updates as to when I go live and new videos that I put out there. Every Thursday, by the way, I do a live video from here and answer your questions. So if there are questions you want me to answer, join me then and I'll make sure that I address them. Thanks. Have an awesome day.